Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Life Live. My name is Reid. This is Success Life Live, and we gather here every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern to help you get the mindset thing right. What I know is when I get up in the morning and I have that time to myself. Good morning, Steve. Great to have you back. We've missed you, sir. Nice to have you in the room. Good morning, Al. Good morning, Wesley. Man, so many people jumping in early. I gotta get my extra coffee going. Good morning, Todd. Hope you enjoyed the winter freeze that didn't happen. Good morning, Matthew. And yes, I apologize. It was too easy, Matthew. He's like my little brother some days. So when I get up and I have that time to myself, when I can isolate myself and begin to pour into myself and think about myself and guide myself and direct myself, I am at a much higher level throughout the day than when I just sort of roll out of bed and try and catch up throughout the day. And so Success Life Live, this program, is designed to give you a place where you can tap into in the morning. It gives you a place where you can say, you know what, I just need my morning fix, my cup of coffee, my mindset fix, my success thinking. I need to get on track so that I know that I can be in control of my day. Now, don't worry, I've got tips, I've got tricks, I got habits to help you with that. As a matter of fact, the newsletter, the all anticipated waiting and gotta get it done, but I never seem to have gotten enough material together to make it feel of value to you, is now going to start being released, and that will be the Tuesday Success Life newsletter. It's really kind of just a quick tip, a quick habit, a quick thought, a quick to-do, so that each and every day or each and every week, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm growing, I'm changing, I'm implementing something new into my life, something new into my business, something new into my career, and I'm growing my success. So if you want to sign up for that, just go over to the Eric G. Reid website, and I'll post a link here later today as well. And it should be on the pop-up for the website. Just sign up. If you have any problems, private message me. I'll get you on board. Here's what I'm going to promise you about the newsletter, because I get a lot of newsletters. It's a once-a-week thing. I'm not going to send you the newsletter on Tuesday, the sales page on Wednesday, the reminder of the closing out of the special bonus program, last call, must do it, killer offer thing on Thursday, and then Friday remind you that no, we don't have time for that stuff when we're building a life of success. We don't have time to have cluttered email boxes, and I'm not going to be the person that adds to yours. So it will come out every Tuesday. It'll be a brief little 15-minute little task or lesson you can learn and decide how you're going to implement that. So go over ericgreid.com and sign up. So let's get started with today's Success Life lesson. So I want to have a moment of confession. So if you're Catholic, jump into that. Sometimes when I'm preparing, it can be an addictive habit. Thank you. Good morning, Miss Julie, Donkey and Peanut. I feel like she could have her own manger out in front. So sometimes when I'm doing Success Life or preparing for the live, I may do a whole week's of content in one download. I may be sitting on Sunday and writing. It's like, oh, that'll be great for Monday, and that'll be great for Tuesday. And I expand it out, and I blog it out, and I get it all written out. And I'm like, boom, ready, set, go. And then other times I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a great lesson. I should teach that on Tuesday. And so I'll pull up my notes from something I've written in the past or something I've taught in the past. Well, today's is neither, tomato. You say it, I say it, who cares how we say it. Neither of those. I was in my morning and doing my thing, and a lesson downloaded. And so often when these lessons download, I think they're really for me, but I'm going to share it with you. So if you want to figure out how to become a more effective leader, how to become a more empowered leader, how to become a more authentic leader, whether it's leading your team, leading your business, leading your family, leading yourself, you get to share my notes. How's that? So we'll see how it goes. All right. So I'm gonna have to ask permission to cheat, because like I said, 5 a.m. this morning, this was flowing and I was writing and I didn't really have time to clean it up. So take a moment, say yes, send a like, send a share, and let's get going. So what was interesting is I noted that great leadership flows from a place of being and not doing. So often I will see people trying to do leadership Like they'll read the manual and they'll have their 5 steps to being a great leader, and you can feel it, you can see it, you can sense it, that they're trying to do this thing called leadership. And often, whoever they're leading, whether it's their family or their church or their team or their company, they feel as if, oh, he's got his leadership suit on. It's time for our quarterly leadership meeting. Here it comes. Great leaders, true leaders, authentic leaders are leaders. Their leadership comes from a place of being, not doing leadership. And then I was like, okay, so what? So who have I seen that's a being leader, not a doing leader? Who's truly a leader that you can sense that leadership is part of their DNA? Leadership is part of who they are. Leadership is like all up inside of them. They're being a leader. They're not doing leadership. I thought, you know what? People that are being leaders, they can do the long race. They don't get bounced off track. They don't fall in. They don't fall out of leadership. They're not popular one day and then unpopular the next. They're long race runners. They never plateau. Their team, their company, there's never this plateau. They always seem to be growing, and it always seems to be at a steady pace, a consistent pace, a forced pace of growth. Not in a negative forced pace, but it's kind of like you can always see that there's some motion in the team, some motion in the leader, that they're going higher, they're growing bigger, they're making transformation part of the consistency. And so when I look at somebody who is being a leader versus doing leadership, I can look back historically and be like, you know what? It doesn't surprise me that they're here today. They've always been moving in this direction. They weather storms. They're not the ones that get on, a rant when something goes wrong. They're not the ones that, like, every time something starts to feel a little shaky and a little rocky, they're like, my leadership is falling. It's all going to crash. I'm not going to be respected and loved. They're just like, so, storm, stay the course. The other thing that I noticed that about leaders who empower, or that are doing leadership, being leaders, they always empower. They're not afraid to give away power. They're not afraid to invest in others. They're not afraid to grow others. People who are being leaders, not doing leadership, empower other people to become leaders. And then, because you're being a leader, you're able to finish. So why aren't we all being leaders? Why are some of us stuck in doing leadership? Or why are some of us, I know, isn't it great? We're supposed to be having some kind of crazy blizzard that canceled school, and instead I get sun in my eyes, which most of the day I love, but we'll go over here, whatever. So why aren't most of us able to be a leader? What prevents us from being a leader? What lets us default to the I'm going to do leadership category? And I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with doing the leadership category thing, but like I said, when somebody's doing leadership, you can feel it, you can sense it, you can taste it. It's like, well, let's see how long this is going to last. When you're in a relationship with somebody, your spouse, and you've had the fight, you've had that argument that the relationship is on unstable ground, and you come back into it and you're like, okay, I'm going to do all the right things. Do all the right things. The other person is sitting and going, yeah, let's see how long this lasts. I'm not going to buy into it because he's just doing it. It's not who he's being. So what always prevents us? And so I was like, and I was asking myself, like, what's stopping me from being a leader? And why do I always default to doing leadership? And one of them was a sense of worth. My sense of worth when I'm doing leadership is all external. I'm trying to gain my worth from external sources. Another thing that always forces me back into doing leadership versus being a leader is that sense of belonging. I want to belong to this group. I want to belong to this tribe. I want to belong to this category. I want to belong to this image. Again, external. A sense of purpose. My purpose is about doing my role as a leader. Look, I'm a leader. That's my purpose. I'm in here to lead. And so I do leadership instead of be a leader. Good morning, Mr. Edward. I saw Toomey and a bunch of other people jump in. Take a moment, say hello. Being and doing leadership. Are you being a leader or are you doing leadership? And then number 4 I had on my list was a sense of completeness. I'm asking my role in doing leadership to complete me. I'm asking other people to complete me. I'm needing this role of leadership to complete me versus, let me just do this there, maybe that'll help, versus I'm complete. So when you're being a leader, when you're forcing yourself into that role of, I'm the leader, I'm going to be the leader, you're really living an external role. You're seeking your leadership externally. And so what should we do instead? If we want to move from being a leader from doing leadership to being a leader, hey, like I said, this downloaded this morning as I was going through my thinking and my meditation. So often I'll wake up and I'll just sort of sit there and it's like, show me, teach me, what do I need to gain? I'll flip through a book, I'll look at a quote, maybe I'll just sit in silence. You know, it's different every day. And something often downloads, sometimes I just like nod back to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. And so as I was thinking about this, I thought there are people out there that I see doing leadership. But then I see people being leaders. And is there a difference between doing leadership and being a leader? So often in this space and among my fellow JMTers and leadership, coaches and things like that, we think it's the same. But I truly believe that there's a difference between doing leadership and being a leader. And surface people are happy doing leadership. They're happy doing the role of leadership, getting the external validation, getting the completion, getting the purpose and they hold that. And John Maxwell talks about in his 5 levels of leadership, those different levels of leadership. And so when you're doing leadership, you're functioning at that bottom 1 and 2 level. You're doing a role. But when you begin to become a leader or be a leader, you move into the higher place. So now you're like, okay, Eric, quit teasing us and taunting us. Tell us what it is. So, and as I was thinking about this, I thought, to become a leader, I need to go internal, not external. I need to know who we are, who I am, and then I need to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, like understand the me, why piece. And then I need to know my worth separate from everybody else in the room. And I don't mean that like, oh, well, he's only worth this much and I'm worth 5 billion or what. No, I need to know what my worth is without external validation, without external gifting, without external reflection. I need to know what I look like without the mirror, so to speak. It's funny, my son, okay, side note. So he was in the shower and I often tease him. It's part of being a dad. It's the only joy I have besides, all the other dad duties. So I walked in and I flipped off the light in the shower, or in the bathroom while he was taking a shower, and he totally freaked out. He was like screaming and going crazy. I thought, okay, bad dad move. And he was like, I can't bathe. I can't take my shower in the dark. And he like, I'm like, really, dude? You don't know what your body is? Like, you can't get the soap from your head to your underarms to your, your belly kind of thing? Like, you don't know this thing by now? I think the same as when we become more aware of who we are, we can operate without all of the external inputs of people and position and, scorecards kind of thing. And then one of the big things that I sort of noticed about going inside is when you go inside, you release others from needing to meet your needs. When I know who I am, know what my worth is, know what my purpose is, I don't have to expect anything from anybody, and therefore I'm able to release them to do who and what they need to do. But if my role in doing leadership is all about getting validation, getting position, getting stuff towards me, then they're bound to me. They're chained to me like this invisible string of energy. And when I know who I am and what I do and what my worth is and why I'm being a leader, I'm free to release everybody, my kids, my spouse, my team members, my office, to go out and be leaders for themselves. But it's almost like gluing them to the seat. If you're doing leadership, it's like you've glued their butt to the seat and their eyes to you, and they can't go out and do them and be them and become effective leaders because they have to be constantly feeding your role in doing leadership. But when you become a leader, when you understand who you are and what's your purpose and where you're at, it's not that you don't need anybody else, but you're able to free other people to become who they need to become. And so as I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about a conversation I had with Pat, who was our Fun Friend Friday guest from last week, there was this thing, and I gotta remind you, I didn't write this out, didn't rehearse it, didn't practice it, didn't have a lot of time with it. It's just all, it's got like when the kids come home early from school and you gotta figure out dinner. She had made a statement, and as I reflected on it, it was, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And when on earth as it is in heaven. And then you don't have to have a Christian perspective to understand it. If you believe that there is a divine creator in the universe who created all things, including you, you can follow this lesson. When I applied that to being a leader, what I heard was that when I can be in alignment with that on earth as it is in heaven, when I can see that manifestation of the heavenly person that I am, the divine person I am, the perfectly created person that I am, the worthy and important and like the perfect person that I am here, and bring that into alignment of my understanding of the person here on earth as it is in heaven, as you see me, as you created me, as you ordered me, as you divined me into being, there, when I ask that to be brought into here now, this physical form on earth, then I become a leader. I begin to be a leader. I'm able to move into a role of leadership that isn't me doing this thing called leadership. It is me being a leader. And first and foremost, being a leader of myself, being a leader of my purpose, being a leader of my passion, being a leader of my calling. And when I'm able to say, oh, this perfect divine, like godly Eric or whatever is who I'm supposed to be here on earth, all of the need for that external validation, all of that need for a sense of worth and belonging and purpose and completeness fades away. And so no longer am I forcing myself into the role of doing leadership to gather, that was a really interesting word, gather that sense of worth from other people, that sense of belonging from other people, that sense of purpose from other people, that sense of completeness from other people. No longer do I have to lead from that position. Instead, I get to lead from a position internal to me. I get to lead from a position of knowing who I am, knowing what I'm doing, knowing what my worth is. And in doing that, I'm able to release everybody else to go and be them, to go and find their heavenly earthly connection, to find their divine purpose of service and placement in the universe. All right? I don't know how I did. Y'all got to score it, maybe 1 to 10. You tell me. You're the audience. I just show up. It was the notes from this morning. It was something that jumped me out of bed and made me start thinking. Ask yourself today as you go forward. Ask yourself today as you begin to step into the lives of your family and your team members and your clients and those people around me. Well, thank you, Courtney. I'm taking my 10. Not that I need the external validation. Just kidding. It's always nice to get a compliment. Hey, I receive that. But as you step into the lives of others, ask yourself, am I being a leader? Am I doing leadership? Am I relying on that external thing for me to stay in the game, to show up, to do what I need to do? Because remember, internal leaders go long distance, go higher, weather storms, empower others, and finish. And that was like, to me, it's like, wow. Internal leaders go the long distance, go higher, weather the storms, empower others, and finish. Doing leaders, they fade, they fall, they react. They start something and don't finish it, and they blame the world around them. They say, well, it was the wrong team, it was the wrong climate, it was the wrong... That's doing leadership. That's not who we are. That's not what we're about. That's not what we were created for. Am I being a leader, or am I just doing leadership? Yes. And I know it sounds in words and textures to be the same thing. But it's the difference between gratitude and thankfulness. And when we take a moment, like my friend Marie Cochran, somebody will have to tell her we're talking about her. When she says, when we look deep into the words, we look deep into our own understanding of the word, and we create a better life around us. So I want you to look at yourself and say, wait. Am I trying to do this leadership thing? Because I'm not being authentic. I'm not giving my best. I'm not giving my absolute to my people, to the things that I need to give to. And so if you're stuck in the doing leadership thing, pull back. Take time, reflect, connect. I'm still not clear on what the whole thing with Pat was yesterday, because let me tell you, it was like 4 hours of notes. Still digesting them. But this morning it was like, oh my gosh, on earth as it is in heaven. On earth as it is in heaven. You have a vision of who I am. What my worth is, what my value is, what my purpose is, what everything is. And if I can bring that from there to here, then all of this other stuff that's dragging me down and costing me and confusing me and crashing against me, it's leaves in the wind. Doesn't have value. But I see as a coach so often people struggling and chasing and hunting and doing all of the things to try and figure out what it is, who it is, where they're at, what the fit, like all of those mechanical pieces. And they're busy doing instead of being. And so a purpose of success life is to help you be who you were designed to be in alignment with your goals and your vision and your purpose and your passion, to be successful in living your life. All right? So that's why we gather here every weekday morning. That's why I put the newsletter together and all the other things that I do. It's really to help you find that place, to find that moment, to find that alignment, so you can achieve your highest and best self every single day. So I need a special favor for some of you still left in the room or playing during the replay. Dr. Tanya Lowe has returned from her adventures to the other side of the world, and yesterday was her birthday. But you know what? We can all wish her a happy birthday 3 times over, 5 times deep, because what is it? It's our choice. So take a moment, wish Dr. Tanya Lowe a happy birthday. Yes, Neeson. Too many leaders lead from a hurting point. Yes, they are trying to find their worth. They're trying to find their sense of belonging. They're trying to find their sense of purpose. They're trying to find their sense of completeness. And they're trying to pull it out of other people instead of pull it down into themselves. I don't know, that was a quotable. They're trying to pull it out of other people instead of pull it down. Anyhow, Friday we have a Fun Friend Friday coming up. Like I said, I have finally, after much harassment by my coach, I got a coach. Think I'd do this thing just flipping and flopping and running through the day? Sometimes my coach tells me I am, but anyhow. There will be a Success Life newsletter. If you want to be a part of it, just go over to the Eric G. Reid website. For right now, I think there's an opt-in page. I'll post the opt-in page down in the feed later on. Opt-in next Tuesday, you'll get your first email. There will be like a tip, a trick, a thought, something that you should be able to incorporate into your business. You better have a coach. Whew. Lord. Anyhow, I digress. I do have a coach. I love my coach, by the way. I love my coach because when I say I'm coachable, I have a really, I don't want to say standard, but my coach has to like show up with a baseball bat sometimes. Like, pull it back and get ready to swing hard at the back of my head to get my attention. It's very, mine is high on accountability, but at different seasons and different times in my life, I've had different coaches and different coaches for different things. And so that's why I love my coach, because he's been able to sort of guide me through some multiple things. So anyhow, go over to ericreid.com, opt in. If you have problems with it, send me a link, send me a question, send me an email. If you want to start coaching for the new year, there is a 90-day success, 90-day jumpstart program that will be beginning. That should go up by the end of the week, the sign-up form for that. But if you want information on it prior to that, shoot me a message. And until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, and don't forget Fun Friend Friday. Oh, more books arriving in them. I know. Don't you love when I do this? Y'all think I'm like, had a stroke. Another book that will be added to our author talk just came in the mail yesterday, and there's a couple more. So I think Christmas holidays could be like locked in a room reading. I need a speed reading class. No, whatever. But anyhow, don't forget Fun Friend Friday with our guest John. And all of the past Fun Friend Fridays are up on the YouTube channel. I'm going to change the name of that thing. So that you can watch and listen in. And if you didn't get a copy of Pat's notes, there was a lot of stuff in there, so I went ahead and copied out the notes on that. Make sure you private message me and I'll send you a copy of those notes. And Miss Melanie Massey jumped in the room. Make sure Melanie, Dr. Tanya Lowe's birthday was yesterday, so send her a hello, send her a happy birthday. Good to have you in the room. Melanie, this is like Melanie's season, because Christmas and crafts. I mean, Christmas crafts and cookies. Ooh. Join us for Christmas crafts and cookies at Mojo Studio tonight at 5 o'clock. I'm just saying. Good morning, Nisi. 5 a.m. Thank you. Good morning, Sherry. Good to see you as well. Oh, thank you, Courtney. Private message. I'll have to go back and read it. But anyhow, I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern here on Success Life Live. Till then, go out and live your life of success. Bye-bye, everybody.